the quiet corners of seagrass beds and coral gardens where gentle currents dance through swaying fronds lives one of nature's most extraordinary creatures, a fish so unlike any other that it seems borrowed from the realm of fantasy and placed into our oceans. With their horse-like heads held high, eyes that move independently like tiny periscopes, and tails that curl with precision of master craftsmen, these remarkable animals challenge everything we think we know about fish. Watch as the male, heavy with pregnancy, grips a strand of seagrass with his muscular tail while his eyes scan the water for danger. This isn't just any fish. This is a creature that has rewritten the rules of reproduction, turned the concept of pregnancy on its head, and mastered the art of camouflage to a degree that would make chameleon envious. From the tiniest dwarfs, no larger than your thumbnail, to some reaching over a foot in length, these living jewels patrol their underwater territories with a grace that belies their unusual anatomy. This genus Hippocampus, with approximately 46 to 50 recognized species scattered across the world's coastal waters, each one perfectly adapted to its unique environment, whether swaying among kelp forests and temperate seas or hiding within tropical coral formations, they represent one of evolution's most creative experiments. A fish that swims upright, breathes through gills, it carries its young like no other creature on Earth. Welcome to the 9th episode of the All About documentary series starring the seahorse. Our story begins in the midst of ancient history when seahorses first captured human imagination thousands of years ago. These mystical creatures appeared in Greek mythology as the mounts of Poseidon, god of the sea, their horse-like heads and fish-like bodies bridging the gap between their terrestrial and marine world. The name itself tells this story. Hippocampus comes from the ancient Greek hippocampus, combining hippos, meaning horse, and campus, meaning sea. First scientific description of seahorse emerged during the great age of natural history exploration in the 18th and 19th centuries. Carl Linnaeus, the father of modern taxonomy, established the genus Hippocampus in 1758, recognizing that these unusual creatures deserved their own distinct classification. As European naturalists explored tropical seas and colonial expeditions brought back preserved specimens, the diversity of a seahorse species began to unfold. What's remarkable about seahorse discovery is how it paralleled our understanding of marine ecosystems. Early naturalists were baffled by reports of pregnant male fish from sailors and collectors, dismissing such claims as maritime folklore. It wasn't until the late 1800s that careful observation confirmed what local fishermen had known for generations, that male seahorse indeed carries and gives birth to their young. The 20th century brought systematic study of seahorse biology, with researchers like Amanda Vincent pioneering modern seahorse conservation science. Project Seahorse, established in the 1990s, currently recognizes 46 seahorse species, though new species continue to be discovered in remote coral reefs and seagrass beds around the world. From ancient mythology to modern marine biology, seahorses have maintained their status as creatures of wonder, bridging the gap between scientific curiosity and the natural magic in ways few other animals can match. Understanding the seahorse's place in the grand tree of life reveals the remarkable evolutionary journey that created these unique creatures. Starting with the broadest classification, seahorses belong to the domain Eukaryota, encompassing all organisms with complex cells containing nuclei and organelles. Within the kingdom Animalia, they represent multicellular organisms that obtain energy by consuming other life forms rather than producing their own through photosynthesis. The phylum Chordata includes all animals possessing a spinal cord or not a cord at some point in their development, placing seahorses among the vertebrates. Within the class Actinoturgi, the ray fin fish, seahorses belong to the order Gasterostiformes, which includes their close relatives, the pipefish. The family Syngythidae is where seahorses found their closest kin. Syngythidae derives from Greek syn, meaning with, and together, along with gnathos, meaning jaw, referring to their fused jaw structure that creates the distinctive tubular snouts. This family includes not only seahorses but also pipefish and the spectacular sea dragons, all sharing the remarkable trait of male pregnancy. The genus Hippocampus currently encompasses 46 species of true seahorses, from the dwarf seahorse measuring less than an inch in length to the impressive Pacific seahorse reaching over 12 inches. Each species has evolved specific adaptations to its environment, creating a diverse array of colors, sizes, and ecological specialization. Notable species include the long-snouted seahorse of the European waters, the lined seahorse, common along North American coasts, and recently described Coleman seahorse, remarkable for its minute size and unique gill structure. This taxonomic diversity reflects millions of years of evolution, with seahorses adapting to environments ranging from temperate kelp forests to tropical seagrass meadows. Seahorse represents one of nature's most extraordinary anatomical innovations, combining features that seem impossible in a single organism. These creatures have reinvented what it means to be a fish, developing a body plan so unique that they occupy their own distinct niche in marine ecosystems. The most immediately recognizable feature is their equine head, complete with elongated snout, independently moving eyes that function like biological periscopes. Each eye can focus on different objects simultaneously, allowing seahorses to watch for predators while hunting for prey. Their tubular snout functions like a precision instrument, creating powerful suction that can capture tiny crustaceans faster than the human eye can follow. Their body is encased in a series of bony plates, arranged in rings, providing armor-like protection while maintaining flexibility. Unlike typical fish scales, these plates create a rigid yet articulated structure that gives seahorses their distinctive segmented appearance. The absence of a traditional fishtail is perhaps their most remarkable adaptation. Instead, they possess a prehensile tail that functions as a fifth limb, capable of supporting their entire body weight as they anchor themselves to seagrass and corals. Seahorses and their close relatives, sea dragons, are the only species in which the male becomes pregnant and gives birth. Males possess a specialized brood pouch on their ventral surface, complete with its own blood supply system that nourishes developing embryos. This pouch functions remarkably similar to a mammalian uterus, providing oxygen, nutrients, and waste removal for hundreds of developing young. Their swimming mechanisms defies conventional fish locomotion. Rather than using their tails for propulsion, seahorses rely primarily on a rapid oscillation of their dorsal fin, up to 35 beats per second for a forward movement. Their pectoral fins provide steering and stability, while their lack of traditional tail fin makes them relatively weak swimmers. This limitation has led to their mastery of camouflage and their preference for areas with gentle water flow. Size variation among the species are dramatic, ranging from the pygmy seahorse at just 0.6 inches to giants reaching 14 inches in length. Most species live between 5 to 10 years in the wild, while their lifespan closely tied to their environment's stability and the availability of appropriate food sources. Seahorses have colonized some of the ocean's most diverse and productive environments, establishing themselves as masters of coastal ecosystems worldwide. Their distribution spans from approximately 52 degrees north to 45 degrees south latitude, encompassing temperate, subtropical, and tropical waters across the globe. These remarkable fish show distinct preferences for shallow coastal environments, where complex three-dimensional structures provide shelter and hunting grounds. Seagrass beds represent prime seahorse habitats, offering the perfect combination of holdfast opportunities, gentle water flow, and abundant prey. The swaying fawns of eelgrass, turtlegrass, and other marine plants create a forest-like environment where seahorses can blend in seamlessly into their surroundings. Coral reefs provide another crucial for tropical species. Here, seahorses inhabit the space between coral branches, often specializing in specific coral types that match their coloration and body shape. Soft corals, sea fans, and algae-covered hard corals all serve as both camouflage and anchor points for these deliberate swimmers. Mangrove systems offer unique habitat opportunities with their complex root structures, creating nursery areas for juvenile seahorses. The brackish water conditions and abundant organic matter support rich populations of small crustaceans, providing ideal feeding grounds for these specialized predators. Temperature requirements vary by species, but most seahorses prefer water between 72 and 78 degrees Fahrenheit, though some temperate species tolerate cooler conditions. They typically inhabit depths from just below the surface to about 200 feet. most species preferring the upper 60 feet where light levels support healthy plant growth. Water quality is crucial for the seahorse's survival, as these fish are particularly sensitive to pollution and environmental changes. They require stable salinity levels, good water circulation for oxygen exchange, and minimal chemical contamination. Their presence in an ecosystem often serves as an indicator of environmental health, as degraded habitats quickly become unsuitable for these sensitive creatures. Seasonal movements are common among seahorse populations, with individuals often migrating to deeper waters during storms or temperature extremes. Some species show remarkable site fidelity, maintaining territories of just a few square meters throughout their adult lives, while others may range more widely in search of suitable habitats and mates. The reproductive behavior of seahorses represents one of nature's most remarkable role reversals, challenging our fundamental understanding of pregnancy and parental care. Among many remarkable attributes of seahorses, their male pregnancy has to be the most spectacular, as seahorses and their first cousins, sea dragons, are the only species in which the male gets pregnant and gives birth. Their journey to reproduction begins with an intricate courtship ritual that can last for days or even weeks. Potential partners engage in elaborate dancing displays, swimming together in synchronized spirals, changing colors rapidly, and performing graceful movements that strengthen their pair bond. These courtship displays serve multiple purposes. They ensure species compatibility, assess partner fitness, and synchronize reproductive timing. Once a pair has formed, the actual mating process is brief and extraordinary. The female seahorse impregnates the male by inserting her eggs into a pouch on the front of his tail, into which he releases sperm to fertilize the eggs. This process typically occurs during dawn hours and lasts only a few seconds, despite the extended courtship period that precedes it. The male's brood pouch is a marvel of biological engineering. The male incubates the babies for approximately 24 days, providing them with oxygen and nutrients during this time. Not unlike mammalian pregnancy, the pouch wall develops a rich network of blood vessels that function similar to a placenta, regulating the chemical composition of the pouch fluid and removing metabolic waste. During pregnancy, the male's behavior changes dramatically. He becomes less mobile, spending more time anchored to vegetation while his body accommodates the growing brood. The pouch gradually expands as the embryos develop, and experienced observers can actually see individual young moving within the translucent pouch walls during late pregnancy. Birth itself is a spectacular event. Male seahorses undergo pregnancy and give birth to their sons and daughters in a process that can last several hours. The male grasps a piece of vegetation firmly with his tail and begins a rhythmic traction that expels fully formed miniature seahorses from his pouch. A single brood can contain anywhere from a dozen to over 1,000 babies, depending on the species and the size of the male. Less than 0.5% of infants survive to adulthood, explaining why litters are so large. These survival rates are actually fairly high compared to other marine fish, highlighting the efficiency of the parental care system that seahorses have evolved. Immediately after birth, the tiny seahorses, called fry, are completely independent and must fend for themselves. They possess all the adult characteristics in miniature form and begin hunting for microscopic prey within hours of birth. The male, exhausted from the birthing process, may rest for several days before beginning the courtship cycle anew with the same or a different female. Life as a seahorse requires constant vigilance against an array of predators that view these unusual fish as excellent meals. Their relatively slow swimming speed and specialized anatomy make them vulnerable to attack, though they have evolved sophisticated defense strategies to survive in dangerous water. During the planktonic larval stage, immediately after birth, seahorse fry face the greatest predation pressure of their lives. Virtually every planktivorous creature in the ocean poses a threat. Jellyfish, comb jellies, small fish, countless invertebrate predators consume vast numbers of these transparent, helpless juveniles. This explains why seahorse birds are so large, as overwhelming numbers help ensure at least some of the offspring survive to settlement. As juveniles find shelter in seagrass and coral reefs, they encounter specialized reef predators adapted for hunting in complex habitats. Small grippers, wrasse, and angelfish actively hunt juvenile seahorses, while moray eels probe crevices where young seahorses might hide. Crustacean predators like mantis shrimp and large crabs pose particular threats, using their powerful appendages to crush seahorses despite their bony armor. Adult seahorses face fewer, but more dangerous predators. Large fish like barracuda, jack species, and bigger groupers can overcome adult seahorses' defenses through speed and power. Rays and skates hunting in seagrass beds occasionally capture seahorses, though these bottom dwellers are not specialized seahorse predators. Perhaps most dangerous are the cephalopod predators, octopus, and cuttlefish. These intelligent hunters can change colors to match their surroundings while stalking seahorses, and their flexible bodies allow them to extract seahorses from tight hiding places where other predators can't reach. Seahorses have evolved multiple strategies to avoid predation. Their exceptional camouflage abilities allow them to blend seamlessly with their surroundings, often becoming virtually invisible among seagrasses and coral branches. When threatened, they can rapidly change color to match their background or even mimic the movement of swaying vegetation. Their prehensile tail serves as both an anchor and a defensive tool, allowing them to maintain position in strong current while keeping their heads oriented towards potential threats. Some species can produce audible clicking sounds when alarmed, possibly serving to startle predators or warn other seahorses of danger. Their bony armor provides protection against smaller predators and can make it difficult to swallow for fish that aren't specialized for handling their hard-bodied prey. Additionally, their unique body shape and swimming style may confuse predators accustomed to pursuing more conventional fish prey. Behavioral adaptations are equally important. Seahorses are primarily active during dawn and dusk hours, when many visual predators are less active, and they often remain motionless for extended periods, relying on their camouflage rather than speed to avoid detection. Seahorses are highly specialized predators that have evolved to exploit a specific ecological niche, the capture of tiny, mobile prey items that other fish often overlook. Their feeding strategy represents a masterpiece of precision hunting, combining patience, camouflage, and explosive strike capability. The seahorse diet consists almost exclusively of small crustaceans, with copepods forming the foundation of their nutritional intake. These microscopic creatures are among the most abundant animals in marine ecosystems, making them a reliable food source for seahorses. Mysis shrimp, amphipods, and small isopods supplement this core diet, providing variety of both nutrition and hunting challenges. Their hunting technique is both elegant and efficient. Seahorses position themselves motionless among vegetation or coral, using their exceptional camouflage to become invisible to passing prey. Their independently moving eyes allow them to track potential victims while maintaining their concealed position. When suitable prey ventures within range, typically about 1/3 of their body length, the seahorse strikes with lightning speed. The strike itself happens in milliseconds and represents one of the fastest feeding motions in the animal kingdom. Their tubular snout creates a powerful suction effect that draws prey directly into their mouth, often before the victim has any chance to react. This suction feeding mechanism is so efficient that seahorses can capture prey items that are actively trying to escape. Feeding frequency is remarkably high for such seemingly sluggish fish. Adult seahorses may consume 30 to 50 small prey items a day, spending up to 14 hours actively hunting. This constant foraging is necessary because their simple digestive system processes food quickly, and they lack a traditional stomach for food storage. Juvenile seahorses face even greater feeding challenges, requiring smaller prey items that are often more difficult to find. Newly settled young may consume hundreds of microscopic organisms daily, including larval crustaceans, protozoans, and other planktonic creatures that match their tiny mouths. Seasonal variations in prey availability can significantly impact seahorse populations. During periods when copepod populations decline due to the temperature changes or other environmental factors, seahorses may experience nutritional stress. This vulnerability highlights their specialized nature and explains why habitat degradation often impacts seahorse populations so severely. Several studies recommend feeding juvenile seahorses with zooplankton, artemia, and rotifers enriched with commercial emulsion, while adult seahorses are fed frozen mysis and enriched live prey. This research into seahorse nutrition has proven crucial for both aquarium keeping and conservation breeding programs. Seahorses, despite their unique anatomy and specialized lifestyle, face many of the same health challenges as many other fish, though their unusual physiology creates some distinct vulnerabilities and strengths in disease resistance. Bacterial infections represent one of the most common health threats to seahorses, particularly affecting the delicate gill filaments and fin tissues. Poor water quality, stress from inadequate habitats, or injuries from rough handling can create opportunities for pathogenic bacteria to establish infection. These infections often manifest as fin rot, where tissues begin to deteriorate at fin edges, or as systemic bacteremia. They can rapidly become fatal. Parasitic infections pose another significant challenge, with external parasites like marine ick and marine velvet being particularly problematic. These parasites can interfere with gill function, creating cascading health problems that are especially dangerous for pregnant males carrying developing young. Fungal infections, while less common in marine environments, can affect seahorses recovering from injuries or experiencing chronic stress. These infections typically appear as cotton-like growths on damaged tissues and require prompt treatment to prevent systemic spread. Gas bubble disease represents a unique threat to seahorses, particularly those in captivity. This condition occurs when dissolved gases in the water come out of the solution within the seahorse's body, creating potentially fatal gas emboli. Seahorses seem particularly susceptible to this condition due to their unique body structure and relatively low circulation. Nutritional disorders are common in both wild and captive seahorses. In the wild, habitat degradation can reduce prey availability, leading to malnutrition that weakens immune systems and makes seahorses vulnerable to opportunistic infections. In captivity, inappropriate diets lacking in essential nutrients can cause similar problems, often manifesting as poor reproductive success or increased disease susceptibility. Seahorses possess some unique advantages in disease resistance. Their bony external plates provide protection against some parasites and bacterial infections that easily affect scalefish. Additionally, their mucus production and specialized skin chemistry may offer some protection against certain pathogens. Treatment of diseased seahorses requires careful consideration of their unique physiology. Many standard aquarium medications can be toxic to seahorses, and their specialized anatomy making some treatment methods impractical. Prevention through excellent water quality, appropriate nutrition, and stress reduction remains the most effective approach to seahorse health management. Environmental diseases caused by pollution, temperature fluctuations, or habitat degradation are increasingly common threats to wild seahorse populations. These conditions often don't cause immediate mortality, but can weaken seahorses' immune systems, making them vulnerable to secondary infections that ultimately prove fatal. The conservation status of seahorses presents a complex picture of beauty, vulnerability, and hope. These remarkable creatures face mounting pressures from habitat destruction, climate change, and human exploitation. Yet, innovative breeding programs and protective legislation offer pathways to securing their future. Globally, seahorse populations are declining at an alarming rate. The primary threat comes from habitat destruction. As coastal development, pollution, climate change degrade the seagrass beds and coral reefs that seahorses depend upon, rising ocean temperatures and acidification particularly impact these sensitive ecosystems, creating cascading effects throughout the food web. Traditional medicine practices in Asia create enormous demand for dried seahorses, with an estimated 37 million specimens harvested annually for this purpose. The belief that seahorses possess medicinal properties, despite no scientific evidence supporting these claims, drives a lucrative trade that has decimated populations throughout Southeast Asia and beyond. The aquarium trade, while smaller in scale than traditional medicine harvesting, also impacts wild populations. Most aquarium seahorses are still wild-caught, creating ongoing pressures on breeding populations. However, this same demand has spurred innovative captive breeding programs that now offer hope for sustainable seahorse keeping. Captive breeding represents one of conservation's great success stories for seahorses. Pioneering facilities like the Seahorse Hawaii facility and various research institutions have developed techniques for breeding multiple seahorse species in captivity. These programs face unique challenges, replicating the complex courtship behaviors, providing appropriate live foods for microscopic fry, and maintaining the precise water conditions that seahorses require. Success in captive breeding has been remarkable for several species. The lion seahorse and dwarf seahorse are now regularly bred in captivity, producing hardy offspring that adapt well to aquarium conditions. These captive-bred specimens not only reduce pressure on wild populations, often prove superior to wild-caught animals for home aquariums. International protection has strengthened significantly with seahorses' inclusion in CITES Appendix 2, requiring export permits and sustainable harvest quotas. This protection, while not eliminating trade, has created regulatory frameworks that help monitor and control exploitation. Marine protected areas throughout seahorses' ranges provide crucial habitat protection, though enforcement remains challenging in many regions. Community-based conservation programs, particularly in the Philippines and other Southeast Asia countries, have shown promises by giving local fishing communities economic incentives to protect seahorse habitats rather than harvest them. Education incentives have proven particularly effective as seahorse charismatic nature makes them excellent ambassadors for marine conservation. Public aquariums, documentary films, and educational programs help build public support for seahorse protection and broader marine ecosystem conservation. Research continues to reveal new species and expand our understanding of seahorse ecology, providing the scientific foundation necessary for effective conservation planning. Projects studying seahorses' movement patterns, reproductive cycles, and habitat requirements inform protective legislation and habitat restoration efforts. Keeping seahorses in captivity represents one of the most challenging yet rewarding experiences in the marine aquarium hobby, requiring specialized knowledge, dedication, and a genuine commitment to meeting their unique needs. Tank size and setup. Minimum tank size at 30 gallons is essential for a pair of seahorses, which an additional 10 gallons required for each additional seahorse. Tank height is crucial. Seahorses are vertical swimmers, requiring at least 18 inches of vertical swimming space. The aquascape should recreate their natural habitat with plenty of hitching spots, artificial or live corals, macroalgae, and specially designed seahorse trees provided a central anchoring point. Care level, expert to advanced. Seahorses are not beginner fish and require aquarists with solid experience in marine fish keeping. Their specialized dietary needs, Sensitivity to water quality changes and unique behavioral requirements make them suitable only for dedicated hobbyists willing to invest considerable time and effort. Temperament, peaceful, and gentle. Seahorses are non-aggressive towards other species and rarely show territorial behavior except during breeding. Their calmer demeanor makes them excellent candidates for species-specific tanks or carefully selected community setups. Water parameters. Temperature in the wild is at 72 to 78 degrees. Some tanks I've seen run at 72 to 75, slightly cooler than many tropical marine fish. pH levels should range from 8.1 to 8.4, with your alkalinity maintained between 8 to 12. Salinity should be kept at 1.023 to 1.025. Water must be pristine with zero ammonia and nitrates below 20. Maximum size and coloration. Size varies dramatically by species, from pygmy seahorses at just 0.6 inches to the Pacific giant seahorse reaching 12 plus inches. Colors range from cryptic browns and greens that match seagrass to vibrant yellows, reds, and purples. Most species can change color to match their surroundings or express emotional state. Prices. Wild-caught seahorses typically range from $25 to $50 when available, though rare species command higher prices. Captive bred specimens cost significantly more, often around $75, upwards of $150 per seahorse, but offer superior health and aquarium adaptation. Feeding represents the greatest challenge in the seahorse keeping. Adult seahorses require frozen mysis, enriched live prey, while juveniles need zooplankton, hermia, and rotifers. Most seahorses require feeding 2 to 3 times daily with small portions, as they lack traditional stomachs and process food very quickly. Seahorses are found worldwide in temperate and tropical coastal waters, with different species originating from specific regions. Captive bred specimens are increasingly available from facilities in Hawaii, Florida, and other locations with established breeding programs. Reef compatibility, generally reef safe, though large seahorses may occasionally consume very small fish or inverts. They thrive in reef environments with live coral and often kept in specialized seahorse reef tanks that replicate their natural habitat. Tank mates. Compatibility requires careful consideration. Ideal tank mates include peaceful fish that won't compete for food or harass the seahorses. Cardinals, some gobies, mandarins, and pipefish work really well. Avoid aggressive species, fast swimmers that stress seahorses during feeding, and fish that consume the same prey items seahorses require. Some more special requirements. Seahorses are not strong swimmers and prefer gentle water flow. They require areas with hitching spots like seagrass, gorgonias, macroalgae. Specialized seahorse-safe aquarium equipment prevents injuries to these delicate fish. Regular feeding schedules, pristine water conditions, and species-appropriate tank mates are essential for long-term success. Successfully maintaining seahorses requires understanding that they are not the typical aquarium fish. They're specialized marine animals with specific needs that, when met, reward their keepers with one of the most unique and engaging experiences possible in marine aquariums. The seahorse stands as one of nature's most extraordinary achievements, a living testament to evolution's endless creativity and ocean's capacity for wonder. From their mythical appearance that has captivated human imagination for millennia to the revolutionary approach to reproduction that challenged our understanding of parenthood, these remarkable creatures embody the magic and mystery of the marine world. Their unique biology, from independently moving eyes to prehensile tails, from male pregnancy to lightning-fast suction feeding, represents millions of years of evolutionary refinement that has produced an animal perfectly adapted to life among swaying seagrasses and coral gardens. Each species tells its own story of adaptation, whether it's tiny pygmy seahorses disappearing among coral branches, or the majestic Pacific giant commanding its kelp forest territory. Yet seahorses face an uncertain future in our rapidly changing ocean. Habitat destruction, climate change, and human exploitation threaten populations worldwide, reminding us that even nature's most resilient creations require our protection and stewardship. The success of captive breeding programs and marine conservation efforts offer hope, demonstrating that dedicated science and public support can make a difference for these valuable creatures. For those privileged enough to encounter seahorses, whether diving in their natural habitats, observing them in public aquariums, or caring for captive bred specimens, these animals serve as ambassadors of the broader marine world. They remind us that our oceans contain wonders beyond imagination, creatures whose survival depend on healthy ecosystems and human wisdom. The seahorse teaches us that nature's most beautiful solutions often come in unexpected packages, that the slow and gentle can thrive alongside the fast and fierce, and that sometimes the most profound innovations, like male pregnancy, happen in quiet corners of the natural world. As we continue to explore and understand our marine ecosystems, the seahorse remains a symbol of both fragility and resilience, beauty and adaptation. reminding us why protecting our oceans matters not just for seahorses, but for all the countless wonders they contain. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the extraordinary world of seahorses, nature's living poetry, swimming gracefully through the coral gardens and seagrass meadows of our blue planet.